Hey guys, Ev's back to entertain, and we're back with our last Survivor 41 video. I guess is like third one, so it's a trilogy. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be like a basic like review of the season, and like the last video, I brought a special guest with me, so you can introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm back. It's me, Kenon, Evan's brother, a huge Survivor fan, and I came to talk about the concluding stuff on 41.
Right. So it's been like 2 weeks since the finale, so we're kind of late to the party. But at least we have at least our views of the season are clear. So
Yeah.
let's just get straight to it.
Okay.
So hold on, what was the first one of the notes? All right. So first we're going to talk about the finale. So
Mm-hmm.
Kian, would you like to start?
All right, let's start with finale. All right, first off, I thought the finale was actually pretty good. I think it's kind of crazy, but it's actually maybe the best episode of 41. In my opinion, I think the finale was the best episode. Before it was, I think either the Shan or JD Blindside. But this is definitely top both of those episodes. I thought that was one of the best finales we have had in probably recent memory. I think probably the best since my opinion Davis Live. So it was definitely a really good finale. I mean, as you can probably know, Erica won. She was a really good winner, and it was a really good season. Like to finish, like not a good season, like season like to cap off with that finale. So
Right. I kind of the same boat. I really sorry if I sound uninterested. I'm just really tired. But I kind of agree. I kind of think the same way. I think that no, I really like the final five. Um, I think that Erica is a pretty solid winner, but we'll get to that later on. And
right.
I think the final three is also a really good one and also a really interesting one.
Mm,
In terms of the final vote, I was kind of surprised that it was like a blowout towards the end because I mean, well, I don't think he outright got robbed or anything. I did kind of expect Cassandra to get like one or two votes.
yeah, I see. I
Um,
see.
like I didn't expect Erica to almost clean sweep. I mean, if it wasn't for Deshaun's friendship with Danny, it probably would have been like a unanimous vote. But
Yeah.
I didn't expect the final vote to turn out the way it did. But I think the final three was a really good one. I also think the final three, or I'll save that one for later. But yeah, I thought the finale itself was really good.
I was just probably said I was just probably Alexander getting no votes. 'Cause I really probably may get votes from, like Evie and Tiffany because she
Right.
was close to them. And I was really surprised Erica literally got 7-1 vote. And she was actually one vote away from getting a perfect vote. I think that'd be like the first time ever a female player got
No, she got votes during the game, dude.
no. I mean, sorry. I mean like unanimous all votes.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. Sorry, I lost train of thought. Yeah, I thought the finale itself was good. The Final Three itself, I thought it was really interesting because, like, it was the first time, um, not first time, or I mean, yeah, I guess it's first time. This is the first time where I feel like the Final Three, like, it wasn't like a clear alliance, like from the beginning of the game, or um, like for example, in Survivor China, like Todd, Amanda, and Courtney were all three of them were on Fei Long, and they stuck it out till the end. There were there were seasons with like slight aversions, like Heroes versus Villains, where Russell, Parvati, and Danielle, were playing to be a final three, but then Russell,
That's
had like a boner
yeah.
for Parvati, and got rid of Danielle, so Sandra kind of like was in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like really interesting because like Deshaun, Erica, and Xander, like they made like some final three deal like at some point. I think it was like the episode where Liana got, or was it Liana? I think it was like yeah, where Liana got out. But like I don't think it would have like really went through. But like it was like really interesting because like I don't think that any of them really like had the other two in mind to take to the end. But
Right.
it just happened the way it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because originally, like, Deshaun wanted to go to Final Four with Liana, Shan, Danny. And I think Erica wanted to go with Heather. And she really had no third person. Like, she was really wanted to go with Heather the most. And Xander was kind of, like, more open. So I was scared because I thought during the final, I thought he might just take the card. But I was like, don't do that, Xander. But
Yeah.
he didn't, thank God.
So what do you think of like the five players that were in the finale?
I mean, it was pretty good fun. It's not the best Final Five because Heather was there. I mean, Heather was kind of got purple edge, and she's like, "Why is she here?" No offense. I mean, I'm pretty okay. I mean, Ricard was a good player. I was scared at first. I thought Xander was gonna give him the idol. Like, oh man, somebody's gonna get robbed. So I was remember that. Then the fire making challenge between Deshaun and Heather was pretty good. It's probably the best fire making challenge ever in Survivor history, in my opinion. I don't think the most impactful. I think the most impactful was definitely like Winners of War one with Sarah and Tony, but definitely the best one. I still don't like the fire making challenge. I think it's still stupid anyway, in my opinion. I don't care how good that challenge was. It's still a dumb twist, in my opinion. But it was definitely the best one we ever had.
Right. I kind of agree the same way. I think that this Fire Making Challenge, I mean, like, again, I'm not really a big fan of the twist. I'd much rather have it just be an outright vote at the Final Four.
Right.
But I do think that, it was a really interesting one, mainly because, it was still, like, down to the wire and still really close. And, I mean, it wasn't like Tony and Sarah's Fire Making Challenge in the last season where, Sarah was, like, that close and all of a sudden it died down and Tony just, like, came back up. And, I mean, like, it was, like, Heather was really close, and the Sean started getting really close, and it was like so close to the end. And Heather was only off for like 10 seconds. So,
yeah, that's true.
It was like the one fire making challenge that was actually kind of entertaining. Now, mind you, I mean, I don't think that either one would have like won the game, but it's still like it was still great to watch.
We speaking of that, I have no idea why they didn't Xander when he won the Final Four mini challenge. Why didn't you put Erica on the fire making challenge? Literally, that's one of the dumbest. I think that's one of the dumbest moves in Survivor in the season. Is he should have just put Erica in the fire making and maybe compete against maybe Sean or Heather.
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't do that because that really kind of cost his guy. I think that's probably why he didn't get 0 votes because the jury didn't respect that fact that they knew Eric was a big threat and to win. And instead of like compete against and fire against Sean and Heather, he said, "Oh, I can take Heather Erica because I don't know what would say." He's like, "Because I feel like a jury won't respect her game or something like that." With Heather, it's hard to explain. I kind of forgot.
Right. I think he definitely made like a big blunder taking Erica to the end. I mean, like I'm trying to think hypothetically if Erica went fire making and lost, I could see him winning in like a final three of Deshaun and Heather.
I can see that too.
But I mean, it's all in the past now. So he made a mistake and took Erica. So
that'd be funny if Heather would have won because she would have got Erica's votes.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
But I won't. If she did that, she won't got edited like that. So I don't care how. If you're a good winner, you shouldn't get purple edited like that.
Well, yeah.
So I kind of knew she was gonna win.
Yeah. So like, what are your thoughts on Erica as a winner?
Definitely a great. I think she's a decent winner. I think she's definitely like top 25 winner in Survivor. She's like halfway there. I do wish she got more edit like in the pre-merge because we can't ignore the fact she was really under edited that whole season, the whole pre-merge, and she also got help from the Hourglass Twist, one of the worst twists of our history in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So she's definitely gonna be like she's definitely the catalyst of that. She's gonna be like known for the Hourglass Twist, and that's gonna be a good. What if she didn't have that? She probably would have got voted out at the merge, like kind of place where Sydney was at. So that is a good what if in Survivor. Right. But she did good. She made a lot of good plays, especially the merge. She kind of stepped her game. She was a huge part in like the main blindside, the sham blindside, and she really did a good job like sticking in line with Heather. And she won. I think she won 2 immunities. She won 2 immunities, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really good. She had great. She won 7-1. I think it's tied with her. I think Kim Spradlin and I think Natalie Anderson for most jury votes by a winner, female winner. And I think she has the most. I think it's the most dominant win by a female since Sandra and Pearl Islands. I think. So she definitely has a deserving win. I think definitely top 25, like I said. But I don't know if it was the best win because she was kind of like under edited like big time in the pre-merge, and she got help from the Hourglass Twist. But she's won one, and it's for Canadian, so winner. So that's a plus.
Right. I'm kind of. I think that. I mean, the thing with her is that I think that, like, I mean, if there are like flaws in her game, it wasn't really like her fault. I did think like I think her main thing. I know Survivor is always like like a part of it is luck, but I think that like a lot of things like that were to her credit, not even to her credit, but like a lot of things that involved her, like the Hourglass Twist. I mean, that was just stuff out of her control. Like I think that as a winner, I think she's a pretty good winner.
Yeah.
I definitely think. Trying to think. Like I think she's a better winner than like Ben or Chris or Bob or like I'm trying to think of other like winners, but But I think like if I had to rank the winners, I'd probably put her in like in the maybe like 20s or so. But I have to sit down like really like rank them all. But
Me too.
yeah, I think that she's a pretty good winner, and I think that it's nice to have a female winner once again. I mean, granted, I mean, like if Deshaun or Xander won, then I wouldn't have like
Been mad.
I wouldn't have like disregard the season or anything.
Yeah.
But like it's just nice to have our female winner again since like
Yeah, last one was Sarah, right? Game
yeah,
changers.
yeah.
That's like 2 years ago.
That was 4 years ago. Yeah.
Oh wow, so it's good. I mean, she's a good player. I mean, if it was like top 100 rankings, she'd probably be in the 50s, like kind of like 50s, like 40s, like best player ever.
I mean, I guess, but
I'll put her. I think. What would you rank her? I think her win. Would you rank her like out of 30s winners? Because like let's start off with like it's a little fun thing. Let's start off with who's 31? Mike, and all the way to her. Would you like? Would you put like top tier? Like I think like either her, Jeremy, and Tony's wins in 30s, or like kind of like below like Ben's or Chris.
I don't know. Like I think I don't know. I guess I like the game more than Mike's.
Yeah.
I think I liked her game more than Adams, to be honest. I think Sarah played a better game. I definitely think Erica is miles better than Ben. I think Wendell's better than Erica. I'm trying to think who's
I think Nick's better than Erica's.
Yeah, Nick. I'll say I really like Nick's game, so I would say he's better than Erica.
Definitely better than Chris.
Yeah, I definitely think Erica's better than Chris.
Tommy.
I think Tommy. I think he's better.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tommy played a pretty solid game, honestly. Sorry, my throat. I definitely think Tony played much better.
Yeah.
But I did think that Erica did like play a pretty solid game. I wasn't like unsatisfied with the win or anything. So
yeah, it's funny because like I like the fact how like they edited like hey we need to vote Erica like the whole like pre-merge like Sean Daniel like we need to vote Erica. Then the merge like Shan's like we need to vote Erica. She's a big threat. She is she's gonna do something. And she ends up doing everything, like getting everybody get voted out, and she wins. So I find it very funny. They like, she's a big threat. She ends up winning it. So
right.
It kind of it's funny because like the fact she was really under edited in the pre-merge, people were like, why is she a big? What did she do? Like I was even questioning, like, what did Erica do to these players who want to get her out so bad?
Yeah,
well, that's kind of why.
So. Yeah. All right. So that's our thoughts on the finale and the winner and the final three. So we're just gonna start reviewing 41 as a whole. So we're just going to talk about just the positives and negatives about the season. So we'll just get on it. So I'm just looking at my list here.
Yeah.
As for the things I liked about 41, so I should just say like my thoughts on like 41, like just like as a whole, like just briefly, and then I'll get to the pros and cons. I mean, I think that 41, like, as a whole is, like, I think it's, like, honestly, like, probably, like, average or below average or so. I think that, it's much better. I mean, I think it's better than, like, like, seasons like Redemption Island or One World or,
the Idols.
Yeah, or Oddie Idol. I think it's, like, much better. I'm trying to think. Of the 30 seasons, I'd probably watch it over Game Changers, Edge of Extinction, All the Idols, probably HHH, but I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'll probably rewatch that one.
It's actually better than people think. I actually think it's a decent season. It just isn't like the way how Ben won. Like,
yeah.
Better season than people think.
Yeah, but like I think 41 as a whole is like probably like average to below average. But like it honestly comes down to the fact that they're like when it's like when the season is really good, it's like really really good. But then like when it's bad, it's like really really dreadful.
Yeah.
So and it's unfortunate because like a lot of like some of the bad things aren't even in the player's control. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But let's just get to the positives. So as for the positives, sorry, let me just show key in the computer. The first thing we have is the diverse cast.
Definitely.
So I definitely think that the diverse cast in the season definitely works like to its advantage because like honestly the season looks like a lot more modern than like previous seasons.
Definitely.
Now mind you, like I would say like starting from like Ghost Island or so, that's when they started to like have a little bit more diversity than before, which was really nice. Or I want to say Ghost Island, like Millennials versus Gen X, like had like a little more like diversity than before. Granted, they're all like pre-merged boots, but still, yeah, I mean I appreciate that. And honestly, like when they announced like the whole like 50% POC thing last year, I mean, like, I thought the thing I was thinking was like, it's nice that they're doing this, but at the same time, I kind of wish they just like went out of the way and just did it without trying to make a fuss about it. But I get why they did that. So, but yeah, I think the diverse cast in the season, makes the show look a little more modern, and I just think that it's just nice seeing like a cast that isn't like 90% white. I mean, I'm not saying that that's inherently a bad thing, but like it's just like it's just uh Survivor's like a social experiment, and it's just more, I guess, I hate to say more realistic because it sounds corny, but it means a lot more when there's more like minorities there, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely 41. Like people should know this. It's not the most diverse season of all time because that still goes to Cook Islands and Fiji.
Right.
Like Cook Islands literally was like literally like race war. It was like black, Asian, white, Hispanic all together. There's only like 4 white people that whole season, and so it's definitely 41 not the most diverse season. That still goes to like the 41 Cook Islands and Fiji. And like I said, I do like the more diverse cast because, as you know, we're POC, we're black people, so we have a different view. Like we like rooting for like certain players because they kind of relate to us. Like that's why I love Earl and Jeremy because I relate to those guys. Not because they're black, because like they're well spoken, cool black guys. I feel like are well popular and they know how to play Survivor. They kind of remind me of me. I feel like I can do Survivor because they can do it.
Right. But yeah, I think that the diverse cast really works to this season's advantage.
Definitely.
Another thing is it's the first season since I
think Philippines, is it Philippines?
Well, yeah, if you don't count the dissolve as a swap, then I guess. But it's the first season in a long time where we had no swap, and it's really refreshing. I'm not saying I'm like totally against swaps, but it's kind of refreshing to see people not get swap screwed, so that's nice. And plus we get to see people bond with the same people for a fair amount of time,
right.
And I think it adds to the show itself, to the story of the show really. I think that Shannon and Ricard's relationship wouldn't have been so I guess it wouldn't have been as what's the word, emphasized as it was in the show if they were on a swap. Significant. I'm sorry. So.
I agree. I agree with that too, but not just, I'm kind of like 50-50 on try swaps. I mean, I don't mind them. Depends on what happens. Like Ken Boyd's one of the best seasons all the time, but Hillary had 2 tribe swaps the whole season. I mean, tribe swaps are a big deal. I feel like I know people say you get swap screwed. I mean, it's also based on, hey, you gotta make sure you play a good game where you're able to avoid getting screwed by the swap. That's why he's important for those social bonds with new people. I do like the emphasis on the whole no tribe swap. I wonder if they're gonna stick around for next season 42 and other seasons, because I wouldn't mind them doing a tribe swap. There's already 3 tribes. I wouldn't mind them doing 2 tribes or 2 tribes, because I feel like 3 tribes is a lot to edit, and that's why a lot of players Erica and Heather were under edited because it was just those 3 tribes. Not everybody got screen time, in my opinion. I feel like trial swap would have helped that people get edited better because it's been maybe 3 or 2, make it easier. That's my opinion.
Right. But yeah, I'm just glad that it was no swap this season. Next thing is that I think the gameplay overall in the season was actually pretty decent. I don't think it's the most entertaining season in the world, but I definitely think that I mean that's because in this season I think the cast being diverse is fine, but it comes in at cost. But I'll mention that later. But I think that the gameplay itself was really nice. One thing that was really interesting about the season was other than Xander playing his idol in Final 5, and even then he needed to, or it was the last time he could do it. There was no real idol play in this season. Yeah, which is kind of surreal because I'm so used to the last 10 or so seasons being played with idols, but
yeah. If the season felt really players really played kind of conservatively because first off Xander he found an idol early on, but he couldn't play it. He had no vote until to the merge, so all the idols were found. So it had to play kind of conservative, kind of old school Survivor where it was based on numbers or something like that. Because everybody was so worried about these whole these twists, these turns, the old Hourglass Twist, do or die twist, idols. They really didn't focus more on idol play. It was more on numbers. Kind of like my old school Survivor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Very conservative gameplay. Very slow gameplay too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I think the gameplay was pretty decent. And like we said before, the winner and the final three of the season were pretty solid.
Definitely.
Um,
I think, in my opinion, I think the best final three since I think it's better than Winners War, in my opinion.
yeah.
I would definitely put it over Idols. Definitely have distinction. I can't say David Goliath because Angelina was a kind of a goat. So maybe could you say maybe Cambodia?
I mean,
I mean,
I don't really know.
I don't know because Wrong had a good final three.
Right. It's hard to tell, but I just really enjoyed how the final three panned out this season.
Cause I like how they all have different stories too. Like Deshaun was like he was the top dog of like the I think it was Luvu the Blue Tribe. I think it was Luvu.
Right. Yeah.
It was Luvu. He was top dog. He formed his big back alliance with Shanley, Anna, and Danny. He lost all of it. He actually turned on them and then he started on the bottom. Then he rose to the top again and made it to the final three. Xander was kind of like he was like always on the bottom. He was an outsider. He couldn't vote early on in the season. He got saved multiple times because of the Hourglass Twist, and also his tribe won a lot of challenges in the pre-merge.
Right.
And he really was on the bottom until he worked with Ricard, Erica, and Heather, and he started. Now he's finally like top dog. And Erica's kind of similar to Xander, where she was like always on the bottom. Then she started making moves and came on the top. It's very interesting because like the final three is mostly like two people like on the bottom. They kind of came back, and one person like he was on the top the whole game, and then like he made some moves that kind of hurt his game and led to him be on the bottom.
Right.
So interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's a good thing about the season. The cast is diverse. There was no swap, which is refreshing. There was no. I forgot to mention. I mean, we kind of mentioned this earlier, but the last thing on the positives was we kind of said this earlier, but there was like there was no idol overkill. I mean, granted that was because like the idols were set up like really strangely in the season, but I do like the way idols are set up in concept. Like I think that it's they try to find a way like. So I think the idea of like maybe like risk versus reward with idols like is an interesting concept by itself. I just don't like how it could like punish a player, but
Exactly. I agree.
but I do like how like there really isn't no idol overkill. Again, like there was only like one idol play, even then it didn't really matter. Like those like it's the first season since like I think like Wrong where like no votes were like really negated by any hidden media idols. So it's just refreshing. Finally, it took him like freaking. What was Game Changers 7 seasons ago? Yeah, it's like 7 seasons for him to not have idol overkill for once, but to compensate, they have to have like twist overkill. But that leads to the cons. So let's look at that.
Man, Sweet wish she had that. No less idol overkill. That would have helped her out.
Yeah. All right. So the cons. So basically everyone and their mother agrees on this, but there are way too many twists in the season, and what gets me is like. Literally, like, so what gets me about this season, like when it comes to this, is like what we wanted from Survivor 41 is like a season that, like things start getting too hectic around the 30 seasons. Like fans, even players wanted a season that was just like kind of toned down, just like trust the cast more and just give us a quality season. Instead, the production like gives more and more twists, and like most of them aren't even like fair to begin with. So it's just,
Exactly.
and it's just like it gives me the impression that they don't really trust their cast, which is like
It's really unfortunate.
yeah,
Like I agree. Like I can see why because like the cast really does define the season. Like it's real. You can't name any season Survivor, which is like considered one of the best seasons, but the cast is kind of like mediocre or average. The best seasons like Pearl Islands, Heroes Villains, Cagayan, Cambodia are known for the cast. The cast is so well loved. David Goliath got away with like all these overkill, like, these idols and like advantages and twists and stuff like that because people love the cast so much. Literally, the cast would say that season, in my opinion. And it's like they like Jeff and production didn't look at the old past seasons during quarantine. Like they had like a whole year to look at. Hey, look at some old seasons. Look at Bourne. Let's look at Australian Outback. Let's look at some of the old seasons. See how we can like maybe change Survivor a little bit. Instead, it's like they looked at Game Changers and present. It's hey, we're gonna emphasize more of that stuff, the concepts. We're gonna expand, like make 100 times more.
yeah, it really does get to me because like I mean, production most likely knows how fans feel about like the like overabundance of the twists and knickknacks in the game, but they just just do more and more. I mean, like, and
Exactly.
what gets me, I mean, they must hear something because they have idols set this certain way so there's no overkill, but instead they just they overcompensate on everything else. So I feel like you can't win either way. Now, I mean, having too many twists is bad, but like the thing with 41 though is like the new twists in the season are like god awful. So
They
like,
are.
first of all, let's get to how idols are they're done. So
Okay.
I do like the basic concept of how idols are done. Like like it's a risk versus reward on like whether to find them or not. What I don't like is how punishing they are to get one. So like
Exactly. I agree.
so like if you take an idol and you say the phrase when no one else says hasn't found it yet, then you lose your vote.
Exactly.
So what gets me about that is like say the other someone else has found the idol but they decide not to open it. So that means that the person has basically like lost their vote like for basically no reason. So like
Exactly.
like say like Xander finds the idol, he loses his vote. No one in Uwa or say Brad finds
I mean, Brad kind of got screwed by that.
yeah, Brad finds the idol in Uwa, and let's say he doesn't open it. So that means like Xander is screwed for the entire pre-merge. So like it's so dumb. Like
It really is. Like,
you would think that they would like actually think this through, but no. I mean they just
literally,
yeah.
Brad got screwed by that because Brad got voted out because of that whole.
Literally.
And Xander could have got voted out early on, but the thing was that Uwa was so bad in challenges. And Xander survived many times because his team won immunity challenges early on.
Yeah.
So if they would have won the tribal council, he would have got voted out because he was all the way like the bottom of the yellow. I forgot yellow tribe's name.
Yasa.
Yas, he was on the bottom. Yas, he would have been screwed because he couldn't play an idol till.
Yeah.
And I like the fact how. Oh, you keep going, sorry. I'll talk more about it.
No, you can go ahead.
I like
Sorry.
the fact how like they made a surprise. Oh, Nasir found an idol like at Luvu. They should have showed it before. He's like, I'm confused with Go and AstroTurf. Because Survivor's not about. I'm not. It's Survivor. I don't care about a surprise. I want to see like the guy actually finding out instead of like having to come back at the last minute and do the flashback. I'm not a fan of that.
So you're not a fan of like the flashback edits?
No, I don't. I don't know if we're gonna talk about that later, but I'm just tired. I don't like that. It did too much early on in the season.
I mean, personally, I don't mind the flashback edit because, like, at least it gives like a different viewpoint or like a different way of like. I mean, instead of like the usual like celebratory idol find of like every other season, at least they sort of like have a little bit more fun with editing, but like at the same time, I'm not a fan of those stupid. I mean, they kind of stopped doing it as much like in the merge, but like I hate those stupid slow mos like they had in like the beginning of it. Like it's Survivor, not a Marvel movie. I mean, honestly,
it's not Marvel. I'm not watching Spider-Man. I'm watching Survivor. I mean, it's like people like jumping off the building, like slow mo. Like that's so cringy. Like it's like the first song they wanted to change. They wanted to make it more unique. It looks so bad. And also, I could not see those. I thought the reels like they were seen as funny, but I felt cringy to me because like I want to hear. Oh, I'm as confused as it go on AstroTurf or as
yeah.
like Bird Paws dead relatives want to say hi. I mean that's just cringy for me. It's a Survivor, not a kids game. I'm not
Right.
watching
That I agree. I agree on that. That's dumb.
Just say, oh, you can't say I have an idol, but I mean,
Right.
That's why you should maybe create the whole concept because no one want to hear that. Oh, I'm just confused as it go on AstroTurf.
Where's AstroTurf come from? I mean, honestly.
AstroTurf is like on a
well, I know,
yeah,
but
it's on a
like,
football field.
okay. But yeah. So back to the god awful twist. So, I hate how idols are done. Let's just go chronological order. I hate the I forgot about that. The Shot in Dark. I'm serious. The Shot in Dark was such an underutilized, like, stupid thing that like no one really cared about or really knew. Like, it's so dumb. Like, I mean, like, it's not the biggest thing. I mean, it's. What gets me about the Shot in Dark is that like it was used one time and like it was like basically forgotten. And I don't blame them because like like what's the point of having like. See, what gets me about 41 is that for some reason they think that like risking your vote is like great television, and it's really not.
It's really
so like
not.
like what's so stimulating about instead of seeing the cast, what's so great about like seeing someone just drop a dice in like some big like urn and risking their vote? Like it's just like I get a risk and reward, but like at the same time it's just like it's Survivor, not an RPG. I mean honestly,
Yeah, got me mad was that was like the whole emphasis like the pre-merge. Every like it was like 10 to 15 minutes of people going to like I guess quote unquote Exile Island and like go do like the Shot in the Dark.
We're talking about the wheel and the summit.
Is that same thing or different?
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about the one island that like
you're right. See, that's about the wheel. The wheel was literally unionized in the pre-merge as well. The wheel and Sean and Dark.
yeah.
That was really I was really. I feel like they knew that was bad. That's why they didn't bring it back in the merge.
I don't know, man.
I hope it's not coming back 42, but it probably is.
Will.
Yeah, we'll talk more about 42 later.
But yeah, Shaun of the Dark was such a useless thing, and it's probably gonna come back next season. It'll be useless again. All right, so next to the knowledge is power thing that Liana got.
Yeah.
I mean, it did give us a good moment where Xander had the whole like fake out idol thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is a good moment, but I think the twist itself is
Bad.
incredibly stupid.
It's not fair. I mean, it's literally not fair.
Right, because like they all know like how idols work, so having like this whole one advantage where you ask someone for that, like it's just what's the point?
Don't forget advantage. You can also ask for advantage. You can ask for advantage
it's so dumb. Like because who had a big mouth? Like someone's told Tiffany about about Xander's idol, so like Leon knows Xander had it, so it's just like and it's obvious because like with the phrases that idols come with, it's just. Yeah, like of course she knew that Xander had it, so like she could easily screw this game by just asking for an idol. That's just dumb.
Even though she found it late in the pre-merge, Xander still couldn't play his idol because everybody else found it. So what if she actually found it early on and then she went to tribal council, she just played it, and Xander couldn't do anything about it because Xander couldn't play his idol yet.
It's so dumb. It
really is. I feel like now with his move, making a fake one and just giving his idol to like someone like Tiffany, Evie. Oh my god, Evie. I keep saying Evie for some reason. Evie. I think now players may do that. They may just make fake idols and then somebody ask it. I'll just give it to them. That's a good idea just to block that advantage. But still, I don't like the fact that they use that, and especially that timing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think that I agree with that.
You should not. I like the idol notifier because the idol notifier is like the player has to know who has the idol, and sometimes you may not know who it has it. And also, they have to know if they're gonna play or not. That's why I think if people like the idol notifier because you can still play it and it doesn't really matter because this person can not play it anyway and you use that advantage.
Well, I thought you said you weren't a fan of it because it could have screwed like.
Oh, the idol notifier?
Yeah.
Did I mention that?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I mean, it's not the best advantage, but it's better than knowledge of power. I like the way it was kind of used and. There was live. I wasn't a fan of how to use the idols because it was like Final Five.
Right. But knowledge power is dumb. What's even dumber is sorry, I forgot the name of it. That Hourglass Twist.
Oh yeah, that one's bad.
Yeah, that twist by itself almost ruined the season. Cause
I think I brought up early on we did this weeks ago. It was that merge. The whole 2 episodes of merge. Was probably one of the worst episodes I've seen in Survivor in a long, long time. Right. Because, first of all, the first episode was, left with a cliffhanger, which makes no sense. And then the second episode was, infamous, Hourglass Twist. The whole, Erica changed the course of history. Right. It was so dumb. Because, literally, the whole merge challenge, whoever wins gets the merge, and the other loser team got to compete for the immunity challenge. That was for nothing. It was really useless. Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, well... Erica had a decision. Of course, you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get immunity along with the other group while you guys got to compete." Of course, who's gonna say, "No, I'm not gonna do that"? Right. So stupid. So dumb. Who's gonna say, "I'm not gonna get immunity"?
So dumb. See, and then, oh my god, it's just the lack of logic and fairness to that twist. It just bewilders me because, in all honesty, it's just how is it fair for who's the winning team? It was Evie, Deshaun, Danny, Ricard,
Sydney.
Yeah, how is it fair for them to win a challenge, then just all of a sudden they just be stripped away from them because of some freaking Mario Party twist that just made them lose? It's dumb. It's not fair. It's not Survivor, and then they wonder why viewership has went down. It's just. I mean, it's not
Survivor. It's like I said, it's Mario Party. It's literally something you see in a video game. It's not Survivor.
Yeah, it's dumb.
What's the point of doing that merge challenge if somebody's gonna have a chance to flip the whole game? Yeah. Like I said earlier, of course you're gonna say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get immunity along with other people, and then you guys are gonna compete. Of course, who's not gonna say I'm not gonna get immunity because I'm not gonna let people vote for me out? Because if Erica didn't get immunity, she would have probably got voted out because unless she won immunity, but I doubt it's gonna happen.
Yeah. That hourglass twist was just it was god awful.
Quick thing. Can we talk about how you feel about the merge, like the way you did the merge this season? Because it's very. I was like,
you mean like how like the episodes were done, or like
the merge just like a whole, like how like the whole thing, like hey, you actually got two people going to be split into two groups and compete in a challenge in the wing team. Like, how you thought about that? Because that was way different compared to other merges. Like,
I honestly don't really care for it. I mean, in my mind, Sydney made the merge. I mean, I mean, honestly, like they got to a point where two tribes were on the same beach. So in my mind, I'm just thinking, merge. So it wasn't like Thailand where at least they went back to the original tribes after the fake merge bluff. But like I mean, that was dumb too. But like, I mean, no, I mean, I just don't think that you should earn your way like to the. I mean, like if you got to a certain point where your tribes are on the same beach, then you should merge. I don't see this whole like team thing. I mean, at least in Fiji where they did a similar thing, at least they didn't lie to you. At least they said, you're merged, you're just doing this like two teams thing. But
yeah, anyway, the only thing in Fiji, I don't like the fact that they just go straight to tribal council.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really it was like no strategy, just straight to tribal council.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not digging that merge, the new merge. I hope it's only for like one season because that doesn't seem right for me. I felt Survivor's about hey, you earned a way to go. You made like day 15. You deserve to make your merge. You shouldn't compete for like a big challenge. It doesn't matter if the Hourglass Twist play a factor in it.
Right.
I wonder if they're gonna come back next season.
Probably will.
Yeah, we'll talk about 42.
But I think Hourglass Twist is awful. Another god awful twist in the season, and it's personally the worst twist in not just the season, but probably the entirety of the show. Yes. Is the do or die twist. That like at the very least, Hourglass Twist is just so wrong. It's not even funny. But at least, that still, like, incorporates, like, social gameplay. There should never, ever, ever be a way to leave the game other than a vote off or a medevac. So, the fact that you literally could participate in a immunity challenge, be a first one out, and then potentially be eliminated just by drawing a box with a skull on it is just so fundamentally wrong that I cannot stomach it for the life of me. I mean...
That was wrong. And I'm thank gosh that Deshaun didn't get voted out because of that.
Yeah.
If he did, I probably wouldn't watch the last episodes.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, thankfully Deshaun got lucky, like really lucky in all honesty. But I mean, I just think that the twist is just so god awful. It phases me that it actually, the production approved of that because that's just wrong.
And the excuse was like, oh well, I mean, you could not get the twist because they said that you didn't compete for that challenge. If you didn't compete, you didn't have to worry about doing a twist if you lost first. I mean, I like the way they did that. They say told about the whole plan.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact how. I don't like the fact that you just say because what if I need immunity and I actually lose first and I get screwed by that?
Right. It's so dumb.
I mean, I know like someone like maybe like Erica was like Heather. I think Erica, Heather, and Liana were lucky and not have to worry about that. But somebody else could have been screwed by that.
Yeah.
You can't just sit down and challenge, especially in merge. So it's like do or die.
Right, and it's just it's like stuff like that in Hourglass Twist that it just makes the season like impossible for me to like consider it good because it's just like, I mean, it has potential, but then like these twists are so fatal to the fundamental part of the game. It's just like I just can't like fully enjoy the season. It's really unfortunate, but I think Do or Die Twist is just
definitely the worst season. It's the worst twist of our history.
It's god awful, it really is.
I thought Distinction was worse, but it actually pushed.
Yeah,
it passed Distinction.
But yeah,
I'll get one positive. I think I did like the I don't know if it's like kind of like twist, like it's kind of more new change. I love the fact they did it to Final Tribal Council, like, the format now.
Oh right.
I like the fact that instead of the whole like outwit, outplay, outlast, the whole like categories guy talk about that stuff. It was just like, hey Jeff, just like open discussion, talk about what we want to do, say what you want.
Yeah, I definitely like that more. I mean, it makes it not. I like the more. I mean, it's already open forum, but I like it when it's not, so like forced and phoned in. When it's just like, no, it's an actual open forum, and not like, tell us how you did the outwit, tell us how you did outplay. Like,
exactly. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Survivor's not. You shouldn't win Survivor because you outplay. I mean, that sounds crazy. I should. Never mind. Screw what I said. Okay. I almost messed up.
But yeah, I mean, I appreciate. I was like, it's an actual open forum this time. Granted, I will always prefer jury speeches, but like unlike other changes in the previous couple seasons, I kind of understand why they changed it because they don't want like another like Spencer or David Murphy god awful speech.
I'm sorry, I actually heard that the reason why they did that because Jeff was really mad at the fact how when you watch Kerrang, like the jury kind of favored Michelle, and that's kind of one of the big reasons why Michelle won. I think Jeff wanted Aubrey to win. So when the jury was kind of like favoring Michelle over Ty and Aubrey, that's kind of what made Jeff say, we gotta change the format because the jury kind of was like the big reason why Michelle won.
Yeah, I heard like Jeff was like not fond of like Michelle winning at all.
Yeah, he
So
was
like
not
that's
fond.
why like we have like a lot of god awful twists in the last couple seasons because
Yeah,
like he would like for some reason like he and production like have all these twists so that like the most deserved in quotes
exactly. Because
player wins.
he
So
was really mad at Michelle winning because they said Michelle wasn't like a big, great, like, all around player. She was one of the most strategic and stuff like that. They say they feel like they didn't want Aubrey to win because Aubrey's kind of like seen as a new brainiac, a Cochran like player. And also, I know they also changed it because like they really didn't like the fact how people like Spencer, like David Murphy from Redemption Island, like favorite like, hey, one guy, hey, she deserves it more than any of you guys. You guys don't deserve it. He out without play out last. They don't want jury speeches like that.
yeah, that's the one change I personally prefer the older way of more, but like I still understand why I changed it.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, the twists are god awful, but there are other things I hate about season 41. We hate, yeah, even better. And that next, it's like probably the second biggest problem, and that's the wokeness / SGW BS. So here we go. Here's how I see it. I mean, here's what I mean by.
Come on, guys.
We'll get to that. The cast, had a lot of potential. It was one of the most diverse casts, and it was really nice. But it works like in a different way too. First of all, I forgot to put this in my notes too, but I'll just want to say this before we get to the wokeness. But I feel like that with like the cast, I feel like that they they try to make it more diverse, but like I feel like they didn't do a great job, casting people for more than just like diversity quota's sake. I mean, I feel like that there was like no real like they have like a diverse cast, but like it's hard to tell like who's the hero of like. Once Upon an Island said it best. Every Survivor season should have a story. There should be main characters, sidekicks, comic reliefs, and villains. I can't really tell like who fits that role for each. I can't tell who fits that role for season 41 because part of that's because of the editing, but two because like the cast. I mean, people are out here to play, but like it's hard to tell who's a hero, who's a villain, like who's
actually the hero of 41.
I honestly can't tell. Like
Erica?
I would say Erica, but like she's barely edited, so it's
exactly. I mean, who else do you say? Xander? I mean, Sean?
It's hard to tell. So like,
who else is the villain? Who's like the main villain? Like Shan? I mean, Shan like
right.
I don't see Shan's a big villain, like a famous villain. She's known for Blindside.
Right.
Also.
I mean, she was like the decoy winner for the pre-merge. So
exactly. Yeah. I mean, like sidekicks. I mean, you could say Heather. I
don't know. I mean, like part of it is because of editing too. The editing in the season was just really god awful.
Yeah,
but
we gotta talk about that too.
But but yeah, I just think like they have like a diverse cast, but like I feel like that part of it's just like there's just to fill in the quotas. Like I feel like they still they got like still try to cast like people who are not just entertaining to watch, but also like fit like play a part in this overall story for a season. Because ultimately, Survivor is a game, but it's also a TV show, and every TV show like should have a story. And that's another reason why the merge episode was like really stupid. Because like there was no like. When we strip out tribal council, or at least some sort of elimination, there's no like conclusion. There's no concluding part to the story. Like you have this whole big merge thing, and then Erica has to decide to flip the hourglass. That's not an ending. That's just like a stupid, not even a cliffhanger. It's just it doesn't feel like a complete episode. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that's why I think Heroes Villains is one of the best. Is my opinion the best season of all time because I think it has the best story in Survivor history. Because I feel like it had like the whole heroes villains, the whole like theme. Heroes got beat up all out by the villains. After James got voted out, Kobe kind of like one of those popular villains, heroes of all time. We came back. Heroes came back and win. They tied the deficit. Meanwhile, we got one of those notorious villains, Rob, taking over and dictating the whole villains trial, leading to a downfall in the pre-merge. Mm-hmm. And then in the merge, you got Party, one known player, made a great move and leading to JT's fallout, and that's why it's the heroes fallout. While doing a whole sequence of villains, Sandra was on the bottom. She tried to survive the villain's wrath led by Russell by trying to get the heroes working for her, but that didn't happen. But then the heroes started turning each other, leading to Danielle's vote out, and Sandra's still being safe.
Right.
And then at the end, the player who maybe she wasn't seen as a deserving one at the time, Sandra, survived the wrath of Russell, and also got people to understand, hey, I was with you guys the whole time, but you didn't listen to me. And now look at you all now. And you got voted out. That's why she won. That's why I like Heroes Villains so much. And even I keep talking about it. Even the previous season, Samoa, I thought Samoa had even besides the Russell over Eddie, I thought it had a really good story too. Like Galoo dominating forward the whole time. They got blown out, beat him all the time. Then the main leader, Russell Swan, got medevac and led to Galoo's downfall. And then a tribes went with 4 people at the merge, came back and overcame 8-4 deficit, and went up having a 4-4 winner in Natalie. So I feel stories do play a big factor in how good a season turns. So I feel 4-1 lacked that. I really did.
Right. But yeah, I think the first cast. Or sorry, back to we kind of. We digressed way too much. Back to the wokeness and SJW stuff. So, yeah, one thing that I mentioned this in the merge episode, and we mentioned this in the last episode too. But as I've always said, I still stand by this. I'm not a big fan. I'm not the biggest fan of the whole Black Alliance thing. Because I understand why they did it. I especially understand considering it's a couple months after George Floyd. I kind of understand why it happened. But at the same time, I do like one reason why I like the Shan blindside was I appreciate that the Sean and Danny were my main fear with the Black Alliance was they were just going to take it all the way to the end without any regard to how the others are playing. So in other words, I didn't want Danny and Deshaun to realize that Shannon's playing a better game, just keep her anyway, just to have an all black Final Four. I want them to play their own game and realize who's playing the best game. I appreciate that they they took her out.
Yeah.
So
it kind of led to their downfall too, because after that,
yeah, but
Sean got one vote. So
right, but
that kind of killed
right, but what gets me about the wokeness thing is they take up almost every episode of the merge has to be some 5 to 10 minutes of it taken up by some forced wokeness BS. It just gets so so forced, so corny, and it just I get it. So Survivor's a social experiment. I do agree that there should always be some sort of not political talk, but there should be some social commentary because it is a social game. But not to a forced, not too extreme, not too phony. That's the thing with 41. Sarah's speech and Winners of War and even the Isle of the Idols too. It's just there's so much forced stuff that's just we don't need it's hard.
I agree with you, man. I wanted root for when I heard Leon's speech. I think during her vote out.
Yeah.
It was powerful. It was one of my favorite moments of the season. Problem is that I didn't really enjoy I should because they kept mentioning the whole morals thing.
Right.
The last whole episode.
Yeah.
And then the previous episode too. I understand you want to make a story. I felt that was a powerful piece, but nobody's going to care about because they mentioned 4 times.
Exactly.
The episode before.
I agree.
And that's the thing about Survivor. And his thing, Survivor has always been a social game. It's always been social issue in Survivor. Literally, the first season, they cast Rudy Bosch to be a Richard Hatch because they want to have a 7-year-old Navy SEAL guy be with a gay guy so he make homophobic commentary to him. They cast Dara from the Rhode Islands to be with Tijuana and Austin. See how a Mississippi white girl be with two black people. And we literally had in South Africa, they had Big Tom Lewis say he's gonna shoot Clarence, a black guy. I mean, so I don't want to hear this whole thing Survivor is too political. It's always been social issues on Survivor. It's always been a little bit political. It just you never really mentioned it. You didn't worry about it because it was a big deal back in the day. I mean, of course it is some people, but now. Since doing social media now, I feel more people are more aware of that and they actually are more open to talk about it more often.
Right.
So I don't hate that people say, Survivor's too political. Back in the old season, more like that.
So are you agreeing with me or not?
I agree. But I'm just saying that there's a difference between saying I'm tired of wokeness Survivor and shut
up. I do think you make a good point. I mean, I think the social talk has always been a part of the show, and it makes sense because again it's a social experiment. I just don't think that it being forced every single episode, every single hour of the day. It's just it devalues the talks to begin with.
And
but
I think that a lot of players have a hard time with it. Even I think previous season 2, you can't value morals in your gameplay. You have to do stuff that's gonna break people's heart. You're gonna break people for a change.
Right.
I think that Sean realized that. I think I want to with Sean. He realized that in the Black Alliance, he realized, you know what? I really want to do this. I want to do this for me, not for me, for my people. But I realized I can't do it for the people that outside the game. I have to play for myself. I have to win $1 million, and that has to involve me taking out Shan. Even though I feel bad, I really want to do this moral thing by taking all black Final Four. I can't do that because I know I can't win. I need to win. That's why I like about the whole Sean. I have to take out Shan.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Can you come on, guys?
Yeah, that's another thing. That I mean, it's funny because it turned off like that. I mean, that's an interesting thing with 41. Like, not just with the overabundance of twists, but like the whole like SJW thing, like the come on in guys, like in the first episode. Like, it took like 41 seasons for just one little thing to like, turn off even casual fans. But like the whole come on in guys in the first episode, that was like so forced and so like unnecessary.
I've never seen an episode, a premiere of Survivor get ruined by this one moment. I mean, literally, the first episode literally turned off millions of people on Survivor.
Yeah,
and that's really a shame because I felt like it was decent premiere, but nobody watched it because the whole come on in guys.
Right, and if all things to change the Survivor, like they could have like lowered down the twist. They could have like done anything else. They think that the main problem with Survivor was the word guys. I mean, exactly. you cannot make this stuff up because like. Yeah. And then, like, here, mind you, I did, like, I was really annoyed by him, like, after, kind of, like, sticking with it. But, I still kind of like Ricard for his gameplay. I think that overall in the season he was very charismatic. But I just hate the fact that he kind of, like, enabled the whole come on in, like, guy, or come on in thing. So it's just... Yeah. And again, like, it will be one thing if Jeff, like, just starts saying come on in, but, like, and just not, like, make a big deal about it. But, like, the fact he's going to make a whole SJW liberal fuss about it in like the first couple seconds of the episode. It's just it's incredibly obnoxious. It really is.
Like, Jeff could have said was he wanted to bring anything else. He just say, "Oh, come on in," and people be like, "Hey, why not saying come on in, guys?" And Jeff just say, "Oh, well, he don't even respond on Twitter, so nobody would reply." He was like, "Come on in," like nobody would get offended by it.
Exactly.
And all he could say was just that, and then nobody your car saying I don't want to do that or know him. Hey, you guys, how you feel about come on in, guys? Just say. Come on in.
Right, it's so stupid, it's so unfortunate. It's
so funny now. We watch previous seasons now. Every time Jeff says "Come on, guys," you go say "Can't say that anymore."
Literally every single. We have like 40 seasons to do this stuff. Every time he says "Come on in, guys," we're can't say that anymore.
It's so funny. We only got 40 seasons to say that, and it's so funny to do that. I wonder how they're gonna do that for you. I wonder if they're gonna stick with that for you too, or I was whole political thing to make Survivor woke.
I don't know, dude.
I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if they do the change of 43 because like, I won't be surprised. I was like, hey, it's trying to make Survivor woke and it backfired miserably.
Yeah, but I just think the wokeness is just incredibly obnoxious. Another thing is not really a wokeness thing, but it's another thing that really bothers me. I just hate how everyone in this freaking season has like a sob story. I mean, in all honesty, like. I get they're trying to like have each player have like some sort of like story like work off of, but like not every single person has to have a sob story. Like, and what gets me is like what gets me is like they give sob stories like to people who like don't matter. Like so like. Like the way that the stories are presented themselves are weird. Like why should I feel bad for like so JD's whole sob story in I think it was like first second episode was that he apparently like grew up as a nerd and like why should I care? I mean honestly.
No, his life sucks.
Right. I mean like you don't have to give a sob story in quotes to every single person out there. Like
I like that certain characters didn't get sob stories like Heather. Like I don't think Sean got a sob story. Not really.
I don't think so. No, I think JD got one. I think Tiffany got one. Eric got one.
Xander got one at the final.
Yeah, Xander got. I mean, like it's just like not every single person like had like their father killed in the wildebeest like stampede. I mean, like it's just like I mean, it's not like I mean, like literally. Like,
I think I think that's what I like about David vs. Goliath because David vs. Goliath has the same thing with South Shore with like with the Davids, but you kind of respect that because hey, there's the Davids.
At least they didn't force it onto like.
Exactly. It's like it was kind of forced like in the first episode, but it wasn't like it was. They used like every episode. Hey, episode like oh man. I have a tough childhood living in Kentucky. Yeah. They say, oh yeah, I have a tough time making friends with white people because I live in the black community. It was like that, and I expected the Goliaths like mostly like, oh yeah, we're cool, we're rich, we got money. I expect how like Andrew, like the first episode Game of Goliath was like Allison talking about her story about how she used to successfully made to be a nurse or doctor, I believe, and then you got passing. Oh, I couldn't afford that. I couldn't make this up. It just makes it very unique watching that in David's Goliath.
Yeah.
It wasn't like shut down for hey, Davis are losers, the underdogs. You root for Davis more than the guys.
I mean, mind you, I'm still not the biggest fan of Dave vs. Goliath as a theme. I mean,
no, definitely.
Yeah, I think the theme itself is like title itself is like really stupid, but like I mean, it's funny because like Dave vs. Goliath, like before the season started, I had like I had no hopes for it at all because like the theme and title of it are incredibly stupid. And like I was like very very concerned for it, but it surprised me. It turned out to be much better than I thought.
Because the cast is so
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
That's why I say a cast defines a season. If you have a great cast of likable people, a big hero, villain, comic relief, and sidekicks, you have a great season. That's
Yeah,
what David Live.
but back we digress. So the wokeness in the
Yeah.
season is just it was incredibly obnoxious. So I'm
really curious what 42 is going to be like. Because 42 was filmed right after 41. So these players may still do that and have the woke and stuff like that.
yeah.
So I'm going to be interested to see how that looks. I want to see how it looks for also 43. Because 43 is going to film. I think they're going to film it next year.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they're going to film it next year. Because like 42 is coming out next March. And 43 should come out next fall.
Yeah.
So you're going to film it. And so we'll see how it looks. We'll see how like a year off of like filming, which see how Jeff like impacts like the production thoughts on 43.
Right. So next problem, and we got two more like concluding this.
All right.
We have it shouldn't be too long because like this has been a problem for the entirety of the 30s.
Definitely.
But the challenges are
Suck.
incredibly they suck. They're incredibly uninspired. They're just like, and what gets me is like, and again, it's like a byproduct of them like staying in Fiji for like 10 freaking years. But like but like they reuse like challenge assets like over and over, and like one challenge like it was from Edge of Extinction, and Effie like figured it out, and like Jeff was like that's what happens when you study like when you go on a show. I'm like, no, that's not cool. You're reusing the same challenges from like previous seasons. Like how's that something to boast about? I don't understand.
Exactly. I know, like I think Spencer did that in Cambodia, but still, I mean that's fair because Cambodia was an All-Star season. Usually, All-Star season they bring back old All-Star challenges from like most season challenges.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what make those challenges unique because like they're like based off like what players did actually in their original season. That's what's about Women's War. Women's War could have way better challenges. But they brought back a lot of these, like, the 30s challenges, like the Edge of Extinction, the Airburst Live challenges. That really annoyed me.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like, the challenges in the season were, like, just, they're all reused, they're all inspired, they're all, like, it's always, like, the pre-merge, they may start out in the water and they end with a puzzle, and then most of the merge ones are about endurance or balance. It's just, like...
It gets me mad, because, like, we were watching One World, Kenon like, the other day, and the challenge is very unique. Like, there's a lot of challenges that doesn't involve, like, going to puzzle and stuff like that.
Right.
It's like, why can't they emphasize these challenges and put it in... the 41. Like, I understand, like, now, I think due to Kale's medevac and Koran, that kind of scared, like, production, like, do, like, a lot of endurance challenges because they don't want that whole thing to happen again. But sometimes, that was, like, one instance, like, out of, like 500 people play Survivor. You can't just, like, say, oh, man, Gaga almost died on the show. Can lead to, like, hey, we can't do these challenges no more. Actually, man, I feel like they kind of, like, they, like, made the challenges more easier now because that whole thing happened with Koran.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think challenges are just incredibly uninspired, and I mean, I just don't think it's gonna be something that will change. So that's just unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate too, because they literally had a whole year to make some ideas for challenge, and they still do the same challenge with Distinction all the 30 seasons.
Yeah, so
if they run out of ideas, ask production, ask us, ask the fans. I mean, you gave us like a whole thing, like whole like website, like do like puzzle stuff like that. I don't know.
Oh, the game within the game.
Yeah, why can you guys? Hey, Jackson. Hey, guys, fans, the Survivor. Let's talk about something. How can we fix challenges? How do we make challenges better? Give me your challenge ideas. And in fact, they actually did that in early seasons.
Right.
So I don't know why they just making challenges so bland and so easy nowadays. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah, but challenges suck. And then the third biggest problem behind the wokeness and the twist, in my opinion, is the really terrible edit in this season. Now, again, like the challenges is like another freaking problem that was in like a majority of the 30 seasons. But like the editing in the season was just so. I mean, I'm not even counting like the whole 4 sob stories and like the one thing of the slow mos. But like the actual editing of the characters in this season was just so off. And again, I mean, to be fair to this season, like unlike other seasons where I feel like they went out of their way to be stupid with the editing, but like this season, I really feel like it was really kind of hard to do so because like again, like a lot of twists and a lot of like there's like a lot of stuff to keep up with. But at the same time, it's just like why is the winner like so under edited? I mean, it's just like
I agree with that.
Yeah, and what gets me, and I'm sorry, I honestly feel bad for Heather because like I literally have no idea why she edited the way she did.
I know. I feel I brought it early on when we did this last time. But it's like imagine being on this Survivor fan like 20, like someone like Heather been like probably playing for like maybe like 15 years because she's an old lady, and imagine her like finally getting on the show, living her dream, and then she can finally show her family and friends, but she only gets like one professional episode.
Right. I mean, that's just
so unfortunate. Like, I can't imagine that. If I feel like I'm going to survive, I need to be a character. That's the only way for me to get on screen.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
And I don't like the idea. You can't. Winners should not be underrated. They're the main player of that season because they won $1 million.
Right.
Someone like Erica should not be underrated to the pre-merge. I don't care if your tribe won most of every challenge to the merge. You should not underrated winner. That's not just 141. It happened in other seasons too. Like we watched South Pacific for instance. I really feel bad with Sophie because Sophie. I feel like I like her now because wins the war, but in South Pacific, I was like, how did she win? Because she was underrated big time. That season was like mostly Cochran, Coach, Brandon, Ozzy. Yeah. And she really didn't you don't really know her too much about her besides being like coaches like assistant and sidekick until like she made moves near the merge, including winning the final mini challenge.
Yeah.
Now I like Sophie now because she had a good game and wins the war. I was like, hey, she's a good player. Why is she getting underrated so bad? You can say the same, maybe kind of Michelle a little bit and Cole wrong because Michelle's kind of quiet too.
Right. But
you shouldn't edit it.
Yeah, I just think the editing was just really, really off this season. So
and that's mad too because like they kept saying, "Oh well, we're gonna make Survivor more difficult, more unique." But the problem is you need to balance the edit out. That's one thing you gotta balance it out.
Right, that's another thing too. Like they keep like advertising that this is like okay. So before I get to this, I'm just gonna just gonna get this out of the way. What is the monster in the season? Because I mean, like Jeff kept saying, you know, there's a monster in the season, but I'm like, what's the monster? I don't understand.
Was Monster do a die twist?
Like was the monster all the terrible twist that affected the season? I just don't understand. Like I mean, so it was like funny because like I think either Reddit or like this YouTube comment like made an interesting point how like the monster could have been like what the person like becomes like towards the end of the game. And I think that would have been like kind of interesting. But
that makes no sense.
Well, no, because like you look like say like you know how like in Kagyan like in Day 39, like Tony and Wu like they looked in the mirror and like they saw like how much like weight they lost.
Yeah, it's every season.
Okay, well not every season, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you know I guess like the monster could have been like who they become from Day 39 compared to Day.
Oh,
day
that's so.
Okay, okay, it's okay, whatever. I'm just saying like it was from Reddit. I didn't make that up.
That's so.
Whatever, it was from Reddit. I mean at least that kind of makes sense. Like in the show we have now, like. What's the monster? Like, was that like some sort of advertising ploy? I don't understand.
Advertising ploy. I made a monster like the whole like the show coming back, like the monster's here or like the show's back.
I don't know. It was so
monster,
dumb.
Come on, guys! Say the monster is here. You can't say it anymore. Got rid of the monster. Come on, guys.
But and then like you know like the show kept saying even the contestants themselves kept saying that this is like the horror season ever. And no, like Guatemala, Africa, these are hard seasons because like not just the weather, but like you know. Like I feel like you can like see the toll that it's taking on the players themselves. Like
Corong too. Corong like, had most medevacs in season.
Exactly. Like 41 is still in bright, colorful Fiji, where it's all like Disney princesses and all. I'm kidding. But like you know, it's all bright and colorful Fiji. You know, again, you know they say that they ain't got rice or they got limited resources, but we don't know that because like we don't see any of it. Like they all look, you know, they look fine. I mean, they don't look fine, but like you know, it's just like you can't tell that they're struggling compared to other seasons. It's just yeah.
And I hope they don't. I personally know it's like I don't know if it's a pro or con, but I hope they go back to 39 days. I know they gotta do 26 days. I mean 26 days because quarantine at Fiji. But I heard rumors that Jeff may just stay with 26. Please don't do that because one of the trademark survivors 39 days. It's like getting rid of idols. That's like a well-known trademark. You can't get rid of that. And I can't respect players who play 26 days compared to other players who play 39 days. That's my opinion. I mean, I know it sounds messed up, but I'm an old school fan. I feel like I just play the game like you play 39 days survivor. You don't play 26. That's my opinion.
Right. No, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go back 39 and 43.
So. I hope so.
Because I mean, literally the only reason why they're doing 26 because of COVID, and they spent like 14 days in quarantine. So I mean, they kind of compensate for that.
I understand. I just hope they do it because they just go back to this. I can't respect it. I mean, if that happens, then nobody's gonna break Rob's record because if you come back 4 times in 26 days, that's like 100 days.
Yeah, but yeah, the editing was terrible. All right, so that's all the main problems we have with the season. So,
sorry. I didn't like the edit. Like you remember, it was the episode JD got filled out where it had the whole like challenge, like Deshaun and Danny were talking about the challenge.
Oh, confessionals during the challenge.
I don't like that. I'm not a fan. I never do that.
I didn't mind it. To be honest,
I didn't like it because it kind of felt like it was like stopping like the pace of the challenge. Like the pace is like going good and staying like, oh man, I know I was this close to like throwing a challenge, like, I can't get going. Then it's like, I should keep going.
I mean, like, considering it's just a one-time thing, even then, like, they were trying to throw it. I mean, I thought that was, like, I thought it was amusing to me,
I
but...
don't dig it. I'm sorry, I don't. The only way they didn't call Kenon. Even though they called Kenon, they were trying to throw it, but you knew they were throwing it, but it wasn't like they were saying, oh, yeah, I was going to throw this challenge, trying to put basketball in this wrong place, but it backfired, so...
Yeah, all right. But that's all the cons. So we're about to wrap this up. So here's the next part. What players in the season would you like to see again?
Okay, personally, I would like to see Erica again. I feel Erica's a really good player. She probably will come back maybe if they do like Women's War 2. I probably won't be able to learn in 10 years, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if the show's on that for that long. I mean,
you're that truth. But anyway, like, they say like, they may not do like a returning season in a very long time because like kind of a new era Survivor. But I wouldn't mind seeing Erica come back. I feel like if she came back and wins the award like 2, depending on who they bring back, like maybe like the past players who didn't go Women's Award winners, she might do well. But she's like kind of like an underdog. She's like kind of like not. I say she's popular now, but she won't probably be popular like 5-6 years. And she may make it far because she's not a big threat. And besides Erica, I wouldn't mind seeing like who else. Like I like Sean and Xander. The final 3 was really good. I also like Shan. I think Shan will come back. And
right.
I definitely think Carl will come back, and also Danny. So I think that's my 6 people.
Yeah. For me, like as far as pre-merge boots, I wouldn't mind seeing Brad come back. I mean, I know he was out early, but I think he was like a pretty good character. But I wouldn't mind seeing Brad come back for like a second chance 2 or something. Same with JD.
Yeah, I think JD.
I think Voce got robbed, but like I don't know if like his chances of coming back.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah, so do I.
I think Sydney.
I can see, Sydney. I can see her come back for a second chance
a great
too.
Villain, I think that's what we missed. I think we missed when Sydney got voted out. We kind of lost that big villain on Survivor.
Yeah.
And we really missed that because she was really a good player, and she seemed she got.
Yeah, I mean the closest we had was Shan, but like I mean it's not like she was like.
I can't see Shan a villain. But I feel like I know she backstab and blindside people, but I mean just because you do that doesn't make you a big time villain. Like Sri did it all the time in her seasons. She never was considered a villain.
Right. But yeah, I would like to see Sydney come back for second chance too. I can see. I'm trying to think who else. I could sort of see Nasir coming back. I mean,
yes.
I think like he'd be like Keith or something where he comes back as a comic relief kind of guy. But
yeah,
I don't know. I can see that.
I can see that.
I can see. I can definitely see Shan coming back and Ricard.
I wouldn't mind seeing Liliana, to be honest.
Who?
Liana.
Oh, Liana, yeah.
Liana. Liana's a good player. I just think that she's kind of young too. I feel like she like JD are kind of those like young players like really young. Even Xander too. They don't really know about life a little bit too much. I feel like with a few more years more experience, more maturity, I feel like they would really do well.
Yeah. I also see Evie coming back.
Yeah, I like Evie. I mean, she kind of got far early in the merge, so.
I can definitely see Xander for sure coming back. Yeah. Same with Deshaun. I can see Erica coming back, but I'm trying to like imagine a scenario because I don't know like how. I doubt they're going to do like a Winners War 2. Like
probably season 50.
I mean, I don't know. But I'm trying to imagine a scenario where they would bring back winners again. I mean, but that's just.
I can see that. I personally can see that because I feel like. We missed a lot of good winners like Rich, Tina, Vecepia,
yeah. Okay. I see what you mean now. Yeah.
I can really see like they bring back a lot of those like past winners. And bring back some like Erica, make some other winners like next few seasons.
Yeah. I was thinking of it as like the 40s like winners will come back. But I see what you mean by like having like the remaining winners that haven't came back for 40 like come.
My 2 seasons I would like to bring back. I would like to bring back like Diamonds in a Rough season, like players who got voted out before the pre-merge, or maybe like the jury come back like All-Star season. I think that's probably the best way to do All-Star season now.
Right.
Because like players, they may not be as popular. Maybe something like JD and Brad would do well because they're not as popular at the time because they got voted early. And also, I like to say like, maybe a winners versus super fans. Like y'all actually like big time fans, like super fans, versus like big time winners.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
All right. So, out of those players, who do you think has the best shot of winning?
I guess maybe we should exclude Erica because Erica won. It's kind of tough to say if she's gonna win again because it's very hard to do that.
Yeah,
I would definitely think. I can't. I may say. I can't say Shan. Cause I feel like Shan. Maybe she has a shot at winning again, but the problem is that she's like a player like. she has a hard time like
lowering the threat level.
lower threat level, and also not listening like other people unless
Yeah.
it's like my way or the highway. It's kind of like a Rob mentality. And that's not, you can't win like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Bakar. I feel like Bakar had, besides the whole commanding guys, he was a really good player.
Yeah, I agree.
He won challenges, and I think the problem was that he became a threat like after like big threats got voted out.
Yeah.
Especially one challenge. I didn't help him out either. I could see him maybe come back and win.
Yeah. In my opinion, I could definitely see Xander winning, and like if he came back. So I think he was a pretty solid player in his own right, and I think that if he had like slightly more agency and then make like moves like taking Erica to the end, then I could see him definitely like possibly like winning or at least getting more votes if he made it to the end. Or like at the very least, I can see him like make it to the end again. To be honest, because like it's not like he wasn't like it's not like it was like Shannon Ricard who were like I can imagine them like if they return to another season they'll be like one of the first boots because they're such big threats. Mm-hmm. I imagine like Xander, he's like not exactly like another under the radar player this season, but like I can see him like going far in another season. So. I can definitely see him winning. I can definitely see Deshaun winning if he just stop being too messy. Because I think he did play. Messy, yeah. I think like he played like a solid game until like around like the Liana vote. So
yeah, I can also think. I think about quiet players. So I think Liana may have a shot too. I feel like I feel like her and Zane. I feel like her and Zane could be like players who like I feel like a few years down the road they get more mature. I feel it'd be better to handle like especially Liana handle her emotions more.
I don't know. I mean, see, Liana. I was just thinking about this. Liana reminds me of Danielle from Danielle's appearance in Heroes vs. Villains, because like she was always like I don't want to say riding coattails, but like she always had like someone to like latch onto, and then like when she had like time to think for herself, like she got voted out because like in the pre-merge, she was like latched on with like Evie and Tiffany. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Liana. Yeah. She was latched on with Evie and Tiffany, and then like the merge hit, she was latched on to Shan. So like and then once she didn't have any of those, like anybody really like had like be close to, she got out. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how well Liana would do the second time around. Not like I hate her or anything. I mean, I thought she was kind of annoying, but I don't like. This is like no one in this cast like hate like personally or anything. Oh, yeah, I mean, none of them are like Michael Scoopin or anything. So
or Dan Spilo.
Oh, Dan Spilo, yeah. But yeah.
I feel like I can't really see anyone else besides I don't know. I feel like Shan and then everybody else ahead of her has the best shot winning.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? So what are your thoughts on 42 just based on the preview?
Oh, well, I'm not too optimistic about this.
Me neither.
Because it's going to be exactly the same stuff. 41. They're going to be the same twists. Even if you're the preview, going to be the same dumb riddles and finals.
Yeah.
The Hourglass probably going to come back as well. The Wheel, Chart and Dark. Probably the Dual Dice just maybe turn. Possibly. It's probably going to be turned because they don't know how bad the twist is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not too optimistic. I really won't be surprised if the season breaks Survivor. I hate to say that. I don't know. I feel like sometimes the one thing I heard one good quote I learned is that life's biggest lessons is through pain. I feel that's what's gonna happen. Survivor's gonna have a season that's gonna be like turn off a lot of people, and it's gonna like really hurt Survivor. That's when production like what? Maybe we should need to change stuff. Maybe we need to go back to basics.
Yeah. Oh, I know I'm yawning so much. Yeah, 42. I mean, I just think that's unfortunate that like it was filmed right after 41. And granted, they've been doing this for a long time, but like just like filming like seasons like back to back around, and it makes sense like for a budgeting wise. But at the same time, yeah, exactly because they stay in Fiji too. But like, I just think that it's probably gonna have the same twist as 41, which most of twists in 41 suck anyway. So seeing in 42 once again is gonna be unfortunate. I'm telling you, if the do or die twist comes back, then someone probably will get screwed over.
They're bringing that back for a reason. Like they're gonna, it's gonna be very, very rare that if somebody don't get screwed by that, but someone will not get screwed next season.
Right. I will say like I haven't looked at the cast list. I haven't like memorized like most names or anything, but I think like the cast based on the preview, people do look pretty promising. But like I can't like say much because like most of them didn't get like confessional or anything. But cast does look pretty alright. But I just don't have the most high hopes for 42. So we'll see how it goes.
We see. I don't know. I mean, 41 had a good cast, but still has a lot of negative things about it. So even though this cast could be really good, stuff like that could really ruin the season by the twist and stuff like that. So
right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so
You don't bring them Canadians on the season.
I think there are a few, but I'm not sure.
Canadians are gonna take over. They're gonna win Survivor now.
Don't jinx it.
Gonna
No, I'm
lose
kidding.
to
I'm kidding.
Canadians gonna beat us on Survivor now. They beat us. They're gonna beat us.
You sound like a. Never mind.
Well, last one. What would you rate Survivor out? Like 41 out of 10.
Well, I was about to get to the conclusion
my
thought.
bad.
All right, so, well, yeah, we'll just get to that. So, real quick, we're just gonna do like I cannot speak. Our concluding thoughts of the season itself. So, yeah, here we go. I just think that overall, personally, I think it's average to below average. I think that it has a fair amount of redeeming qualities, but I think it has like a fair amount of like really terrible qualities. If it like I just think that yeah, but it had massive potential. I mean, it could have. I mean, there are things like there was like no theme with the season, like no swap. They try to like aim for like they were trying to go back to some of its roots in some ways, in some different ways, like still screw it up. But like I think that 41. I think it had potential with this cast, but the cast, there wasn't the adding screwed them over. The twist was just bad. It's just, it's really unfortunate. I think 41 had potential. I cannot stress that enough. But it's just they just floundered it. So yeah, I just think that production need to get their stuff together, which they haven't in the last couple of seasons. I don't expect them to get their stuff together in the next season. So I mean, all it takes was Survivor to have like
Go for pain.
Yeah, basically go through pain, and yeah, all it takes is like one twist that's somehow even worse than Do or Die one, and the show get canceled. So I mean,
It's gonna be like the last one. Hey, the final five. Like, hey, whoever gets voted at whoever wins the media challenge, they can draw a rock. If they get if they get a white walk, they win Survivor immediately.
I don't know, man. Either way, Surreal gets screwed. So
yeah, it'll be one. So Sun goes to Survivor. He gets screwed too.
Yeah, but yeah, on a scale from 1 to 10, I don't know, like, can I just like rank it by tier? Actually, no, because even that's in the middle.
Oh my God, numbers.
All right, sorry, if I'll do numbers. I guess I'll give it like probably a 5. I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, same thing he said. First off, rating, I'll give it a 5. I feel like it did have a really good cast. The winner was very deserving, but the problem is so many stuff outside the cast kind of ruined the season, and I just don't know if the production gonna fix it. And it's such a shame because I feel like Survivor is like it's not a show that I remember. Like I remember, like I know they want to do changes and stuff like that, but they're doing too much. Like it's literally all you need to do is have a good cast, decent challenges, and lower down the advantages. You got a good season, but they just keep doing this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it. Rob has a podcast. He interviewed Phil Kogan for the Amazing Race.
Yeah.
And he mentioned how like Amazing Race, like he's not gonna make any changes that much in the Amazing Race. The Amazing Race is gonna do the same basic because the basic always works.
Right.
And that's why I think Jeff should understand. Jeff should understand like the basics of Survivor is what fans want. We don't want these like do or die twists, these aisles where you can't play aisle to somebody else plays it and you get no vote.
Right.
We don't want this whole hourglass where somebody actually legit like care to screw like half the cast.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna lay it out there. I try to like hold my tongue on this for a long time, but I mean, because like I wanted to apply for a show, but like after all this, God no. But like honestly, I think Jeff as a host is still pretty good. And I do respect him in many ways, and I appreciate that he's been host for 20 years, hasn't been like in major controversies or anything. But like at the same time, as an executive producer, I think he's just so out of touch with how the show should be that I just don't approve of.
That's real. I mean, he's been executive producer since Nicaragua, and that's kind of when Survivor's kind of like fell down.
Yeah.
Like, besides some good seasons like Cagayan and Cambodia, some really good seasons. Survivor's never been like that great like ever since Heroes Villains ended. It wasn't like the big time show. Never like a top tier season like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has been downhill since Nicaragua. It's been since he's been executive producer.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts on 41. I thought it's an average to below average season, and yeah, it was a heck of a ride, to put it nicely. Yeah. All right. Well, we're ready to wrap things up. So Kenon, anything you want to say before we gotta go?
That's all I gotta say. Is hope 42 is good, and I know it's not gonna be good. I have.
Well, let's be slightly optimistic.
I can't be optimistic.
I know.
Last time I was very less optimistic about season was Davis Live and that being a really good season.
Right. Well, maybe that's a good sign. If you're the less optimistic you are for a season, the more. I'm kidding.
The dual doctor's gonna come back. I have no optimism in terms of
yeah. Right. Right. But. Yeah, that's all. As for my next video, it's gonna be out the last Survivor one for a while. For our next video, I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm still thinking about going back to next the iCarly season 3 review. I'm still working on that, but as for Survivor stuff, this is it for right now. Sorry, go on.
What if you do never mind. I'll tell you after.
Okay, cool. We're almost at the hour and a half mark, so I would say pretty good session. But I'm Ev here to entertain, and I'm signing out. Have a good day, everyone.
See ya.